Why discipline beats motivation? Hello everyone, and welcome back to Channie English. I'm really happy that you've chosen to spend a few minutes of your day learning English with me. Before we begin, I'd like you to think about a question that many of us have probably asked ourselves. Have you ever felt incredibly motivated to change your life? Maybe it happened on New Year's Day, on your birthday, or after watching an inspiring video online. You told yourself that this would finally be the year you learned English fluently, exercised every morning, read more books, or stopped wasting time. At that moment, everything seemed possible. You made a beautiful study plan, downloaded several learning apps, bought new notebooks, and imagined the person you wanted to become. But then something happened. A few days later, you started feeling tired. Life became busy again. Your excitement slowly disappeared, and the goals that once felt exciting suddenly felt like a burden. Does this story sound familiar? If it does, you're certainly not alone. In fact, millions of people experience exactly the same thing every year. So here's today's big question. Why do some people continue working toward their goals long after their motivation has disappeared? The answer may surprise you, because success usually has much less to do with motivation than most people think. Many people believe that successful individuals are somehow different from everyone else. We often imagine that athletes wake up every morning feeling excited to train, that writers are always inspired to write, or that entrepreneurs are full of energy every single day. But if you listen to interviews with successful people, you'll discover something surprising. Most of them don't rely on motivation at all. Instead, they rely on discipline. They understand that motivation is an emotion, and emotions naturally change from day to day. Some mornings you wake up feeling energetic and optimistic. Other mornings, you may feel tired, stressed, or simply not in the mood to do anything productive. If your actions depend only on your emotions, your progress will always be inconsistent. However, discipline teaches you a completely different way of living. It reminds you that you don't have to feel motivated before taking action. Sometimes, taking action is exactly what creates motivation. Think about the last time you didn't feel like exercising but decided to go for a short walk anyway. After 10 or 15 minutes, you probably felt much better than when you started. The same thing happens when you study, read a book, or practice English. The hardest part is often just beginning. Once you take the first step, your mind becomes more focused, and the task feels much easier than you expected. Let's imagine two friends who both dream of speaking English fluently. Anna studies only when she feels inspired. Whenever she watches an English movie or a motivational video, she studies for 3 or 4 hours. Then she stops for an entire week because she loses interest. On the other hand, David follows a very simple rule. He studies for just 30 minutes every day, whether he feels motivated or not. Some days he enjoys learning, while other days he feels tired after work. Nevertheless, he still opens his notebook, reviews vocabulary, listens to a short podcast, and practices speaking for a few minutes. Now, let me ask you a question. After 1 year, who do you think will speak better English? Most people immediately answer David, and they are absolutely right. The difference is not intelligence, talent, or luck. The difference is consistency. Small actions repeated hundreds of times are much more powerful than occasional bursts of motivation. This idea applies to almost everything in life. Healthy bodies are built through regular exercise. Strong relationships grow through small acts of kindness every day. Successful careers are created by showing up and doing your best, even on days when you don't feel your best. In the end, discipline quietly wins because it never depends on temporary emotions. If discipline is so powerful, the next question is obvious. How can we become more disciplined? Many people think discipline is something we are born with. They believe that disciplined people simply have stronger personalities or more willpower than everyone else. However, research and real-life experience tell us something different. Discipline is not a personality trait. It is a skill, and like any other skill, it can be developed through practice. The mistake many people make is trying to change everything at once. They decide to wake up at 5 o'clock every morning, exercise for an hour, study 3 languages, read 50 pages a day, eat only healthy food, and never waste time again. It sounds impressive, but it rarely lasts. Why? Because such a dramatic change is exhausting. Instead of creating a better life, it creates unnecessary pressure. A much better approach is to start with one small habit. Study English for 20 minutes every day. Read just 5 pages before going to bed. Take a 10-minute walk after dinner. These actions may seem too small to matter, but they are the foundation of lasting change. Small habits are easy to repeat, and repeated actions slowly become part of your identity. One day, you no longer say, "I'm trying to learn English." Instead, you naturally think, "I'm someone who studies English every day." Another secret of disciplined people is that they don't depend on perfect conditions. They understand that life will never be completely organized. There will always be busy days, unexpected problems, moments of disappointment, and times when they simply don't feel like working. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment, they learn to make progress under imperfect circumstances. Think about your own life for a moment. Have you ever postponed something because you were waiting for the right time? Maybe you plan to start exercising next Monday. Maybe you wanted to improve your English after finishing your exams. Maybe you told yourself that you would begin reading books when life became less busy. But somehow, that perfect time never arrived. The truth is that there is no perfect moment. There is only the decision to begin. Even if today's effort is small, it is still better than doing nothing. Reading 1 page is better than reading none. Learning 5 new words is better than learning 0. Practicing English for 15 minutes is better than waiting another month. Progress doesn't come from perfect plans. It comes from imperfect action repeated over and over again. Every time you choose action instead of excuses, you strengthen your discipline. And every time you strengthen your discipline, you become the kind of person who can achieve goals that once seemed impossible. There is one more idea that completely changed the way I think about success, and I hope it changes the way you think as well. We often admire successful people because we see the results they have achieved. We notice the awards they receive, the businesses they build, the languages they speak, or the confidence they have. However, what we usually don't see are the ordinary days behind those extraordinary results. We don't see the mornings when they woke up feeling tired but still chose to continue. We don't see the evenings when they wanted to rest but spent another hour practicing their skills. We don't see the hundreds of small decisions that no one applauded. Success is rarely created in exciting moments. More often, it is created in quiet moments when nobody is watching. That's why discipline is so valuable. It allows you to keep moving forward even when there is no applause, no immediate reward, and no guarantee that your hard work will pay off tomorrow. Let me ask you something. Would you rather have one day of incredible motivation or 1 year of steady discipline? Most people would probably choose motivation because it feels exciting. But if your goal is to truly change your life, discipline will always be the better choice. Motivation may help you start your journey, but discipline is what carries you to the finish line. Before we finish today's lesson, I'd like you to remember one final message. Don't wait until you feel ready. Don't wait until you have more confidence, more time, or the perfect plan. Start with what you have today. Maybe today you can only study English for 15 minutes. Maybe you can only read a few pages of a book or take a short walk around your neighborhood. That is perfectly enough because every meaningful journey begins with a single step. Your future is not built by the occasional moments when you feel inspired. It is built by the choices you make on ordinary days, especially when nobody is asking you to keep going. Every time you choose learning over scrolling through social media, every time you keep your promise to yourself, and every time you refuse to give up after making a mistake, you become a stronger version of yourself. One day, you'll look back and realize that your life didn't change because of one big decision. It changed because you were willing to make hundreds of small, disciplined decisions that slowly shaped the person you are today. So, starting from this moment, don't ask yourself, "Do I feel motivated?" Instead, ask yourself, "What is one small thing I can do today that my future self will thank me for?" That simple question might become the beginning of a completely different life. Thank you so much for joining me on Channie English today. I hope this lesson has helped you improve not only your English, but also the way you think about success and personal growth. Remember, motivation is a wonderful feeling, but it doesn't last forever. Discipline, on the other hand, is a habit that can stay with you for a lifetime. Keep learning, keep improving, and never underestimate the power of one small action repeated every single day. If you enjoyed today's lesson, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new video from Channie English. I'd also love to hear from you. What is one small habit that you want to build starting today? Share your answer in the comments below, because your story might encourage someone else to begin their own journey. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Goodbye.